investigating him. And of course, he was not arrested in America. The person who filed in for that request, guess who? Tafa Balogun, the disgraced police IG in Nigeria. Somebody that was so corrupt that he was handcuffed. And when his house was searched, IGP of police, stashing money inside house. It was the worst of them all. It was so disgraced that people started feeling sorry for him. In one of those disgraceful moments of Tafa Balogun, he fell off the prison car. The prison car that was taking him to prison. For some reason, maybe because he was being manhandled and all that, he fell off and he nearly got run over by the same truck, taking him to jail. And people started feeling like, police IG, a disgraced one. But if you want to, now this was 2003, no social media, no internet, it flew well, it worked with the system, and they have kept the letter. But it was in the same America that the right question was asked. The reason why Kolu was not arrested, or there is no record of his arrest in America, was because he already ran away from America when the old net was closing in on him. He thought he was smart. He returned back to Nigeria to go and contest as a senator, just to give himself some level of Nigeria immunity. Sure you get? So that even if they come for him, he would have ordinarily get protected by the establishment. So he was in Nigeria contesting election with drug money when they were arresting his friends in America. In fact, it was actually a long one. So the same Tafa Balogun Nigeria police that wrote the US Embassy in Nigeria in 2003, are now dealing with the generation that actually know how to ask questions. Now they actually have the record of so many other arrests of Tinubu in America and his friends who also went to jail in America. These younger people, this generation, they don't need any fraudulent, disgraced police officer to cover for another drug lord. In this century, trust me, 21st century, and that's the reason why they have to do everything to make sure that they crush you. You are a threat to what they are traditionally used to, lying and manipulating the people. So yeah, people ask, and today you can access all Tinubu's criminal case in America. So that gave him a leverage. They said American law won't let them take over all of his properties. So he bargained. He made a deal. He's not there. Can you just tell us about your friends who are also drug dealers in this America? And we can cut you a deal. Our law won't let us take all the money. The law says we can only take less than $500,000 from that money, and the rest goes to you. But here is the thing. If you are willing to work with us and tell us others, and they said that Tinubu was right there in Nigeria, when they asked him about the money, Tinubu said that over $2.4 million that they found in his bank account in America that actually led there to this whole thing belonged to his mom, Abibatu Mogaji in Nigeria. Yeah, he said the money belonged to his mom. Money for heroin, the one they found in his wife's account, Remi Tinubu. They said the money belonged to Abibatu Mogaji, a multi-million dollars who was giving money to him. Others said, in American record, the real Bola A. Tinubu was a girl, female. The daughter to Kafaru Tinubu. There's a man called Kafaru Tinubu also. The one that they said that his daughter, who was actually the real girl who went to America and all that, was female. Anyway, Ori Olori and the rest of that. So let's cut it down. As it stands, Kolu is now saying that every of those allegations They're not talking about him. They are talking about some other people, even though he kind of had business with them. He mistakenly lived in a house that these heroin dealers were living. And he also mistakenly opened bank accounts that the money just went in. He's not part of that and the rest. So that was why they didn't arrest him in America. So there's no record. There are records of Tinubu's criminality. And that is what is raising the dust. Pablo Escobar, president of Nigeria. Oma Lagbara go. Anyway, that is that part. This is them defending Kolu. If you want to know what they are going to be arguing in court, right? I don't want to go too much into this or INEC this, INEC that. I'm going to bore you. It's not going to be interesting. All right. So what else is there that we can touch? Let's see. So I told you, look at all of them. Look at all the san. Professor, san. 15 million per month, 15 million. Everybody they chop now. Sure you get. So as the legal battle starts, now that they are putting up a defense, yeah, we should just wait further for what the follow-up will be. I don't want to read everything. I know I want to. I told you I was going to review. Here, reviewing means I will have to be reading one by one and all that. But we still have a long night. If you now here, okay, here is another one. Everything else, because they also attached their evidence. Okay, everything else was clearer. The pictures were clearer. Look at your screen. The pictures clearer, sharp. When it got to the evidence, everything started becoming blurry. You have to bring out magnifying glasses, a special one to actually read anything from this. Are you with me? These are the election results. Election results, according to INEC, they are Kolu attached, but nobody can read them. They said maybe the one they submitted to the courts will be more clearer. So their evidence is just like INEC results. They show. But now only them, they see them, they clear. If you can't see it, if you can't read it, look at this one. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah? Let's see. Can you see that? I've magnified it. See? Can you see anything? This is their result that they submitted to the tribunal. Look at it. Look at that. So you can't really read them for you to review and say, hey, Bayelsa, come and see your INEC result. Tinubu get the result. Come and check it. Look at everything. Everything they wrote. That's why people are saying that maybe they are just trying to make a jest of the court. Are you with me? Look at this. I mean, it's bold on your screen, isn't it? Is it not so bold on your screen? I've bolded it. See? See results. Almost see result. Evidence that Tinubu win. I won the election. See result. Election result. Nigeria presidential election result. State by state. Yeah? Sorry, I think I should let you see more. This is it. I'm still scrolling, and I'm doing it very fast so that I can get to the bottom of it. And I haven't yet. Nigeria presidential election result attached to the defense of President Kolu's. See election results. Man, APC mad. This is called state capture. A lot of you are going to be so alarmed. I did say that. I told you, I said, you are going to be so alarmed by the level of dishonesty, fraud, that you will be so angry that if you are allowed to do what is in your mind, there is no way that you have to do anything legal. You would have to do so many illegal things. See? Now, this is it now getting clearer. I think it's clearer now. All the result no clear, but the cover, see, the cover clear. Every other thing is now clear. Everything, you can read everything now. See? What's this one? Qualification of candidates. That one is clear. See? Submission of names. Where Kolu did not present any primary school, secondary school, educational certificates, okay? Simply because they said during his time, he was such a genius, yeah? Such a genius that he didn't have to go to primary school or secondary school. He was homeschooled. They schooled him at home. Sure you get? So that's how he didn't have and all these are clearer, but the result not clear. Man, fraudulent place. Very fraudulent place. I mean, come on. Dishonesty. You know, one thing I ask people, right? This is just like, you know what I mean now? Like, do you know that if this is Tafa Balogun's letter? Yeah, Tafa Balogun's letter. This is the disgraced IG of police in Nigeria. The letter that, because the embassy said they couldn't find any arrest record or conviction record of Tinubu. So they are now using that same letter that has been on social media for a while. So some people are now saying that, if you like say Tinubu's lawyers, they are actually using social media argument and social media evidences. That's what they want to use to defend Tinubu. Can you believe that? Like, they are lifting content from social media to go and defend the presidential election in Nigeria. Like this letter. They didn't get it from anywhere. It's on social media. They lifted it from there. Anyway, let's say that's enough. So this is Kolu's defense. Sorry if my camera is short. I'm going to be back in a second, my people. Anyway, like I said, I can share the link with you if you really want to read them. I've read through them and the rest. I've seen a lot and I'm like, So it is what it is here. The drug dealer, the drug lord is going to be your president. I know you would like to say, God forbid, or you're already saying it. Even me, I'm saying amen on your behalf. But if you want to understand what a state capture means, in your lifetime, this is what it means. It simply means that everything in Nigeria will now be under the control and command of the drug lord. They are going to employ spies. They are going to employ assassins. They're going to employ all bunch of criminals that they are going to unleash on the citizens, because the citizens will reject them, just like they are already kind of rejected, okay? But as it is right now, they don't give a damn, and they are actually, right, getting ready for use. I mean, for every one of you, I would say. And that's what state capture means. State capture is when you like, who do you run to? Who do you talk to? All they need to do is that if they want to kill people, they just make it look like an accident. Okay? If they want to incriminate you, they just have to bring up some trump-up charges. And they can do this so well, just like every corrupt and bad government would do. And they will always have partners all over the world that are willing to work with them. It's just that when people say they are fighting for their lives, I think I get you. It is worth it to actually say and tell yourself that once Kalu becomes your president in Nigeria, things are never going to remain the same anymore. Not even for, those of you who didn't kind of join them, it's understandable that you would probably have this mental preparation, right? You won't expect much from them or expect anything at all. And then when the award starts happening, you are kind of mentally prepared because you are not in that position of those who feels like, that will be experiencing shock. Oh my God, I'm so disappointed. Like some people are reacting after Bukwari's failure. I'm so disappointed. I put everything inside this. I thought Buhari was going to be different. No, it won't. So a lot of people are going to be saying the same thing to you right now. But the real war is actually not in that court. The real one is outside that court. The one that Tinubu is losing. Let's first admit that, okay? The obedient who have become their karma in this instance, as unexpected and unprepared as APC have been, so far so good. Outside their circle, outside their bubble, Tinubu, I mean, they control nowhere. And that is not going down well with them. When you go out and say, no, we didn't vote him, we didn't want a drug dealer. No, we never really, you know what I mean? When you deny him that way and you see that repeatedly and again, and they are trying to convince people to say, let's move on, and you are not willing to move on, that then puts them in a very, very bad position. A position that the self-entitled criminals don't really like. Some, on the one hand, they want to tell you that, okay, fine, you've proved your point. Okay, we'll do our best and make sure that we do the right thing. We'll take care of the youth. We will not disrespect you. We will not do this anymore. Okay, stop. Let's move on. But they know you won't. So on the other hand, they are like, you know what? They are not going to move on. They're not going to stop talking. They are still going to continue to delegitimize Tinubu. And delegitimizing Tinubu, see, some of you may not understand how powerful the level of destruction that is going to face Nigeria, the level of isolation that Nigeria is going to experience and face once Tinubu becomes your president. It is so monumental that sometimes you will think someone is wishing that on you. When I was raising an alarm, I remember then it wasn't popular, just like now. It's not popular for somebody like, for somebody to keep saying, these people are criminals, they don't mean well. Even when the mob, or let me say, when the whole crowd is kind of jumping up for them. In this regard, in 2015, I remember, these guys are criminals. How could you vote for criminals and then support criminals and expect them to do the right thing? Like, it's still kind of surprising. And they're like, shut up your mouth. Enemy of progress. Enemy of Nigeria. Change Dole. Change for Nigeria. Buhari Oshibajo. Sai Baba. Sai Baba. Majority of you are going to Sai Japa last though. Some of you are going to Sai Payo. Some of you are going to end up in the Sai kidnapper said then. No. Shut up your mouth. Are you wishing us evil? You this guy. Enemy of Nigeria. They were calling people. See, if you look at me today and you call me enemy of Nigeria, you are not the first person to. Unfortunately, those who called me the enemies of Nigeria, or enemy of Nigeria, in 2015, majority of them are falling so bad that they don't even get strength to shout Sai Baba anymore with the shege that APC have shown you. God, somewhere even saying, God will destroy you, Mayegun. Now God go punish you, you this Mayegun. We are praying for our president. We are praying for Oshibajo. We are praying for this and that. They were deceiving themselves. You cannot deceive God. You can't deceive God. When you lie to yourself, or when you think you are lying and then hiding something, you are lying to yourself. You cannot deceive God. And do you know what is that God? That God is your conscience. Yeah, that's it. That's your God. It's your conscience. It's the one that will keep telling you what you did is wrong, what you did is right. When you do something wrong and your conscience keeps saying that thing is wrong, then you keep telling yourself that you don't care. But you keep telling you that's your God. Your conscience. It's not someone projecting anything on you. You cannot empower criminals, oppressors, and then you expect God to just do a miracle and turn them around for you, and they start doing good. How? Where are they going to learn that from? Where is that going to be coming from? And today, instead of you to listen to me again, so many of you are still there, out there, calling me enemy of your Nigeria, enemy of your progress, enemy of your this. When Nigeria got destroyed, me that is warning you and warning you, right? When they are destroying Nigeria, and destroying the economy of Nigeria, they are actually making me richer, not because I have so much money, but because they destroyed your money that suddenly became a trash beside my money. The one that I was thinking that you also deserve in that place, but you chose criminals, you chose terrorists, you chose arsonists, you chose disruptors, destroyers, and you are defending them today. Some of you have grown so jealous. 8 years, so look at it. I keep telling people, I don't wish you evil. I don't wish you anything. I only wish you what you wish yourself. What I do on Mayegun's Diary Political is to try to let you understand that whatever decision you make, you may act ignorant, you may act stupid, you may act like you are smart. It doesn't really matter. For every decision you make in life, there are going to be consequences for them, good or bad. So same way, if you apply the same thing to your political choice or how you relate with political office holders and yourself, right? If you put this what do you call it? If you put this whole thing together, I mean, if you value yourself, so to say, that's what I'm trying to say. So if the system doesn't value you, and you don't value yourself, and you keep empowering and empowering criminals, and they keep taking away from you and taking away from you, at the end of the day, what do you become? You become so jealous. 8 solid years when you were busy praying for your leaders. You were praying for your leaders to do the right thing. Some of you were praying for Bukwari and APC. At some point, you turn yourself to prayer warriors on social media, suffering and smiling. So when you make political decisions, just like if you make a wrong decision when you probably venture into business, right? And you make a wrong decision and you lose all your money. That's the consequences of that decision. If you invest your money and then you make more money, that is the consequences of that decision as well. Good, right? So if you apply that same thing to how you relate with those who are going to determine if you are going to have a successful business, if you are going to have a safe family, if you are going to have a safe environment, if you are going to get a job, if you use that same sentiment, that same mentality in accessing them, the same way you access your life important decisions, just maybe, or just maybe, you will reduce the consequences of electing criminals, expecting them to turn out to be good. In 8 years on this platform, Mayegun's Diary Political, always talking, come back home. 8 solid years. While they destroyed Nigeria, you watched me. You see me. I mean, you were watching me when I was riding Okada. Riding Keke. I was riding Keke, using my phone to show to those of you who are still back there that this place is not paradise. It's not heaven. It's nothing magical. It is just people who say they will do something, doing exactly what they said they would do. When they have the chance of doing that, changing their own environment, which in other words, changes the lives of those who are living there. I was using my keke when I was going to do cleaning. I will go on when I was working as a cleaner. So I will ride my keke, whether it is raining, whether it is sunning, whether it is snowing. On that way, sometimes I will stop by in freezing cold weather. I will be filming. I will be showing everybody, don't you deserve this in Nigeria? Don't we deserve this? Don't we deserve that? You were sitting down there. You were abusing me. You were attacking and saying all horrible things, okay? But guess what? 8 solid years, they destroyed Nigeria. And 8 years, you watched me and you see me today. Mayegun, look at Mayegun. Man, I remember when Mayegun was in the kitchen. Oh, I remember that time that Mayegun was always on his keke and the rest of that. Which means I wish you well, but you probably don't wish yourselves well. You were busy giving criminals opportunity, defending them. They continue to destroy your lives, destroy your jobs, destroy your education, destroy your security. And then they turn you to prayer warriors to start praying for things that you ordinarily should have. You're praying for electricity. You are praying for good road, praying for good hospital, praying for good job, praying for good economy. You are praying. But look at me. I am not as prayerful as many of you because I don't have to be. The opportunities they have taken away from you that prompted people like us to say, every decision you make, I will pepper you. I am progressing. I'm actually progressing. A lot of people are so proud of me. A lot of people who saw me when I started. Where you are still under your phone telling me that God will shame me. 140 million Nigerians are living in extreme poverty. 8 years of APC. That's not my fault. That affected you. Whether you are living in Nigeria or not, it's affecting every one of us because the consequences of that is that they made the people poorer. And the people they have made poorer, they are not just Yorubas, Hausas, Igbos, Christians, everyone in every part of Nigeria. That's the consequences of that 8 months. Some of you had jobs 8 years ago when I was screaming, the lone voice. When I was screaming, look at these guys. These guys don't mean well for you. No matter how much you try to attach to them, no matter whatever you want to say, they don't mean well for you. Whether you like them, whether you don't like them, they are all the same and they will deal with you the same way. You thought I meant evil. And some of you still believe that today. But can you just use my life as an example to what Nigeria has done to you, the young people in Nigeria? 8 years of your life, 8 years of my life, I've seen so much progress. Trust me, I have made a lot of progress. I have progressed enough that I won't have to put a number to it. Yeah? And I have also watched Nigeria decline. I watched young people decline. A lot of them had to end up with Japa, with the people that promised you 3 million jobs every year. Here you get. So consequences, as they say, elections have consequences. So so don't come here and say, Mayegun Kalu, they will swear him in and he will be successful. You are only trying to make yourself feel like it's another lottery, isn't it? You are using your lives as lottery. They are turning you into they are dipping you in poverty and more poverty. They are now weaponizing that poverty. And here you are. I mean, if you actually are those who abused me 8 years ago, you shouldn't come to Mayegun's Diary Politico and say, I have known him for so long. That's how he's doing. He's a useless guy. He always criticizes the people. He always criticizes and that. That means you've known me for so long, but you've actually watched your fellow Nigerians depreciated, opportunities disappeared. You've seen young people slaughtered, killed. You saw all of that in 8 years, and Nigeria economy is in tank right now. And you are still looking at Mayegun and you're like, you this Mayegun, you will see how God will shame you. Asiwaju will be sworn in. Amen to your prayer. You don't know that they say life is a teacher. The more you live, the more you learn. You are never going to learn about life except you live it. You probably will never know something is worse than Bokuwari except you experience it. Now, whether you want to call it your own gamble again, in order to spite Mayegun, no, that's so dumb. When these criminals came in that they want to come and change Nigeria, take a look at this. Look at it this way. a pound sterling was just 240 naira. And it was so good. It was, oh yeah, 1,000 pounds, 250,000 naira, almost money. In 8 years, that 1 pound is over 960 pounds, 60 naira today. They destroyed Nigeria, and that's what I'm saying to you. And the destruction of Nigeria have its victims. The victims are not, they are not those who didn't support Bukwari alone. Even those who supported the APC are still supporting them today. They are victims of this. And the victims are not, the victims are, or let me say, yeah, these victims are not limited to whether they are Christians or they are Muslims, they are Northerners or Southerners, they are Easterner, Igbos, or, no, everybody is collecting. A lot of you are just trying to wish it away. So I wish you what you wish yourself. Remember that. Now, Kolu, when they swear for Kolu, the following are going to be the next move.
We have got the opportunity to serve again for additional 4 years. And Nigerians will know the difference.
Here you got. So, going back to Nigeria, where the obedient, as they say, they're not going to go away. Yeah? Now, let me give you this. Chimamanda Adichie was in Nigeria. And, well, she's still in Nigeria. Their Daura or Dokwemu stupid service, they are yet to strike. And some people are saying that, now go and arrest her now on their Arise television, right? Let's listen. Arise News owns this clip. The credit goes to them.
I still do. I have a lot of love for Professor Soyinka. I admire him. I respect him as a thinker, as a writer. I think everyone should read The Man Died. And Ake, his memoir, is beautiful, right? But at the same time, I disagree very strongly with him about this particular issue. And actually, because I respect Professor Soyinka so much, I went back and watched the interview. I had watched it when it aired initially, but I went back and watched it because I thought, am I missing something? And I think fascist is a really strong word. Fascist actually often makes me think of Mussolini's Italy. But I think we use it now, sort of to address this kind of authoritarianism that's often populist and right-wing, like in Hungary, and even the former American president. And when you look at those situations, you can see why they have been termed fascist. And I did not see any reason that Mr. Dati Baba Ahmed's interview would have been termed fascist. I think he was making a very strongly felt point about the elections. What he was saying, which again I thought seemed fairly reasonable, is that if our democracy is rooted in our constitution, and you then swear in a person who's been elected unconstitutionally, then you are in fact ending democracy. I think it's quite a reasonable position. Of course, we can argue about what that bit in the Constitution means, right? And I'm actually grateful for this whole election period because it's made me read things I probably never would have, such as the Nigerian Constitution, and also made me have quite a few suggestions for editing. But anyway, I think now we're talking about what does "and" mean, right? So Mr. Dati Baba Ahmed is saying that it's 2/3 and the FCT, and that's separate, and it's a reasonable argument. And is a conjunction. We use it in that context often to mean plural, right? So we say Aisha and Yemi are coming, and we don't say Aisha and Yemi is coming. That's because they're two separate things, two separate entities. And of course, the court will interpret, but I don't think it's unreasonable for educated Nigerians who can read and who know what the word "and" means to make their own interpretations and to argue it And of course, the fact that the Labour Party is in court means that they do not believe that this election is constitutional. And so I just didn't, I didn't quite see why it would be termed fascist. I mean, we could, I think a charitable way of reading Professor Shoyinka's comment is that Professor Shoyinka himself, I think it's fair to say that he is not given to restraint in language in general. And so maybe that's where that word fascist came from. However, I have suggestions for what we could use fascist for. We could use fascist for INEC, because as it is right now, many Nigerians feel deeply cheated by INEC, deeply disenfranchised by INEC. And there's an authoritarianism, which obviously is the basis of fascism, at the center of manipulating an election. Because what you're doing is you're gagging people, you're forcibly taking away their voice. That is fascist. Fascist is all of the violence that happened during the elections. Fascist is the way that some people remain silent about that violence. Fascist is, fascist is a government that hasn't come out to address the very tangible and palpable discontent in this country. I think that, and when I say that we can use fascist for INEC, what I mean is the fact that, so many of us, including myself, are convinced that this was not in any way technological glitch. I think that Professor Yakubu had an opportunity for heroism, and I think he wasted it spectacularly. Because he could very easily have become the hero of not just Nigerians, but Africa, because so many Africans are watching. They were so inspired by what happened before this election and the obedient movement. And so, I also think that the president, President Buhari, missed an opportunity for heroism, maybe his last chance at heroism, because Nigerians do not feel that I think Nigerians felt before the elections that he meant well and meant to support credible elections. I don't think many Nigerians think that now. Right. And I wish that he had taken a page from, the former president.
Very briefly, because we're out of time.
Who was a really good man, a moral man.
Right. Just literally 10 seconds. The opposition parties are challenging the election in court. Do you think they'll get a fair hearing?
I hope they will. I think there's reason to doubt that, because the Supreme Court has had rulings that just did not make a lot of sense to most people. And so there's reason to worry, but I'm hopeful. I'm generally hopeful. So I'm optimistic that they will do.
Did you hear that? Because the Supreme Court has made some judgment that, you know what I mean? He said that he's in Lagos. Some people are like, no, he's not in Nigeria. No, he's in Lagos. I'm sorry, she's in Lagos, rather. Their studio ahead, it's in Abuja. So she joined them from Lagos. And she told it to their faces. It's not wrong. If you see something that is wrong, and because some people felt like it's going to be offensive to them, even though it is unconstitutional. Which constitution are you talking about? 1999 constitution. Okay. But she said it to their faces. Yeah. You guys are committing crime. And anybody that says that to you, you can't threaten them with treason. You can't threaten them with all this manner of illegalities too. Not be everybody go threaten per se. Anyway, she had more. Let me add that too, just before we go to the next thing.
While at the same time endorsing something that is quite self-evidently undemocratic.
Well, that's a good point. But just delving deeper into your letter, you were quite categorical in saying that the electoral process was imperiled not by technical shortcomings, but by deliberate manipulation. Is there enough evidence in your assessment to support that claim?
Yes, and I think maybe the most glaring is that we Nigerians all saw these mutilated election sheets, right? We all saw them. We saw polling unit agents talking about how what they had from the polling unit was not what was then announced formally, officially, or uploaded formally, officially. And I think for me, that's a really striking reason and an example of how this election was not about technical glitches. And can we also realize that Nigeria is full of very bright young people in tech? There's no reason for that excuse of technical glitch. And the other question then is, if it was a technical glitch, why was it possible for most people to upload the results of the other federal elections, but not the presidential? And I think most of all is that there's just been this resounding, unfortunate silence from INEC and from the chair of INEC. I think Nigerians deserve the respect of an institution that's supposed to shepherd their democracy. So nobody's come out to explain to Nigerians how that happened. You know, there's a statement about technical glitches. It's unconvincing. And knowing how much hope and trust that Nigerians invested in this election, knowing that Nigeria is a low-trust society, means, I think, that if people really are sincere and there's really nothing to hide, then you make an extra effort to go out and explain to Nigerians what happened.
Yes, that certainly makes a lot of sense to a...
You get that? So there is this saying, one momento.
I was like, have you ever thought, like, if INEC just uploaded the result as they promised, right? This is... When you calm down, when try to explain in constant, you are still pushing para. Not be everything person they take para. Calm down. This is a direct one, okay? Have you ever imagined that all this problem, all this distrust, disbelief, and all that, they wouldn't have arisen if INEC had followed his own rule? You know that, like, you go out there to go and vote. Once you finish voting, they use their beavers, take your picture, take everything, upload the result. And everybody inside your room, you can begin to see as the results are coming on, just like you see them on BBC, CNN, when we are doing a UK election, when they are doing the German election, even when they are doing the Chinese election, American election, you can see how the votes are coming and from where. That's the beauty of technology. That is what Nigeria paid 41 billion naira for. Imagine if INEC had allowed everybody, like from Sokoto to Kano to Bayelsa to Oyo to Lagos, everywhere. No violence, no nothing. Everybody just go there, and once they finished, they upload all the results. Don't you think there will be none of this distrust? And don't you think that is even better if that was done? Have you ever thought of that? Instead of you telling people to move on, they should just move on, Jari. Let's move on, Joe. Don't let them kill you. Don't let them kill you. They will kill you because you expect them to be killed for saying, no, you have cheated us. No, you cheated us. You cheated us. You changed the rules of the game during the game. You moved the goalpost during the match. That's unfair. And then you go for them, you want to kill them. So even if you are supporting Kolu, won't it be so clear that if Kolu won for real, no argument, everybody don't see him. They didn't shut down presidential portal to upload results. Let's say they didn't shut that down. Same way people were able to upload House of Reps and all of that. Let's say they were able to upload all the presidential too. Do you think the obedience will be this angry? Have you ever thought of that? That if they did it that way, even though it may not be perfect, okay, I'm not saying perfect. Perfect. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if they just followed what they said they would do with 41 billion naira that they collected for it, she will not go save ourselves all this stress. The obedience said if that was done and Obi lost, and they have seen that true, you know what I mean? People were not attacked, people were not killed, prevented from voting. Let's say all of that didn't happen. Everybody just go and do their thing, and the result starts coming in. The obedience said they will walk away. That time they will move on to go and do it again. But the problem is that a lot of you are justifying the rigging. Don't you get it? Because you expected them to be rigged. So you are justifying it by repeating what the riggers are saying. They don't even have structure. They don't have this. I mean, if INEC had allowed everybody to upload their result as they promised you, no wala, no anything, no. Shey go dey distance. Okay. Follow this. What this the bishop, should I call them bishop or what have you? They have this to add to it. Supreme Court should decide on the election before inauguration, or else they will throw Nigeria into, well, let him say it himself. Say it.
They were all admonished, begged to conduct a decent election without telling lies against each other and even without saying bad things about one another. However, what happened? Most of them did nothing but doing everything possible to discredit their opponents. They pulled out all kinds of things, both true and false. So hate speech became normal. Before the elections, as part of a campaign, because maybe that could be we could pardon them. That is, well, they say when you are fighting a war, you use every weapon at your disposal. Unfortunately, the hate speech is a bad weapon because it harms everybody. One would have thought that after the election, we will begin to clear up the mess of the hate speech. But unfortunately, because of the way the election went, it has generated even other levels of anger, acrimony, mostly unspoken. But a few people have spoken out, and we are beginning to see this kind of thing. We cannot forget that during the election itself, some characters are reported to have actually mentioned certain ethnic groups by name, that you should not vote this, but you could not vote that people, and bad things were said about Nigerians. We thought that after the election we can now sit down and clean our mess. Unfortunately, like I said, the election is not over yet, and I think that is why some people still continue this game of what is hate speech. For some people, hate speech means whatever you say about me that I don't like. But suppose what I say about you is true. Is it hate speech? Government agencies especially are always ready to say there's hate speech when what somebody has said is what different from what the government wants to hear. But government doesn't listen to many people who think that government themselves also spew out hate speech in the way they talk about certain issues. Maybe we should learn to be patient with one another, but also to consider the sensitivities of people when we make statements, especially those whose statements are supposed to be taken very seriously. My feeling is that until this thing is over, until the court cases are settled, and especially the presidential court case is settled, it will not be easy for us to do anything more than simply begging people, or maybe and us trying to restrain ourselves the way we talk about things. I've always told people, once you begin to generalize, you have started to tell a lie. These Igbos, these Yorubas, these Hausas, these Kaba people, there's no such thing. Everybody is himself. And we should be able to see the good people and appreciate them. Not if you see a bad person, correct him if you can. And then we can move around. Now, I must say, Rena, my daughter, may God bless her, we just finished seeing this social media. He brought out the beautiful Easter message of my colleague and brother, Matthew Kuka, who repeated something that I said at the end of the last session, namely about that the justices of the Supreme Court have to answer to their conscience and God. Because those are the only people they have to answer to now. They don't answer to anybody else. They have to answer to their conscience and their God. I want to say that that is very true, but it's also true of everybody.
Yeah, somebody said that even the priests are being careful. They can't come out and speak the truth in public. They can't. And that's why they are all sounding ambiguous as well. You know what I mean? Like, kind of being sneaky about it. They can't say straight away the whole country is living in fear. And it's actually the fear of unknown. You don't know what side you're going to end up at. And all sides are brutal. But he easily just said we just have to keep begging people. But he was right. It is not over. And it doesn't seem that it's going to be it's not going to be over anytime soon. I'm taking you to that juicy part again.